Hi, my name is AThorne, and Tyler DiGirolamo and I will be debating against Emily and Sammy. Although cell phones are a huge part of society nowadays, it is not necessary and actually not smart for children to have them. The first obvious reason is that kids just aren't responsible enough to keep them safe. Phones are not cheap, and it's just not worth it for parents to consistently buy new ones if their kids lose or break them. The average price of a traditional wireless mobile phone is $76, according to JD Power and Associates. How often do children lose their toys? Is it really worth it to risk that amount of money? And that's the price of just the phone, not including the monthly bill. Again, according to JD Power and Associates, the average phone bill per month was $78 in 2010, as compared to $69 in 2007. This price is on the rise, and I would not want to be paying that amount of money just to have my kids texting all day. Which brings me to my next point, texting. The amount of time kids waste texting is ridiculous. According to research done at Top 10 Reviews, children between the ages of 11 and 14 spend an average of an hour and 13 minutes texting every day. That's over 1/16 of their waking hours wasted. And don't think that they are only doing this texting in their free time. The same research showed that 1/4 of all the text messages sent from these kids are sent during class hours. So not only are kids spending huge amounts of time texting their friends for mostly meaningless small talk, they're doing it when they should be paying attention in school. This distraction from school also translates to other areas of life. The time the kids could be spending outside exercising or, God forbid, reading a book or doing homework is wasted on a cell phone. That hour and 13 minutes I mentioned before was only for texting. Add in the time spent playing all the random games and everything that cell phones have nowadays, and kids are wasting a huge chunk of their lives distracted by a piece of electronics that their parents are paying for. My opponent mentioned that having a cell phone is a necessary convenience in this day and age. While I agree with this for college students and adults, I disagree for children. We all grew up without phones, so it's obviously possible. Yes, it may be convenient to call your mom if soccer practice ends 20 minutes early and you want a ride, but schedules are there for a reason. I think the kids have plenty of freedom already, and having a phone is simply too much. She also mentioned that cell phones can help kids develop independence. But before there were cell phones, were kids not independent enough? I feel like I was. That's what school's for. Kids are at school with hundreds of their peers all day, every weekday. And if they play a sport or join a club, that's even more time spent being independent. Kids are going to make friends and they're going to hang out with them. A cell phone's not needed for this. I would rather have my children going outside or going over to a friend's house than staying at home all day and texting them. In fact, leading to my next point, I think that the independence that a cell phone can bring actually is dangerous for kids. Emily mentioned that cell phones are an added measure of security for parents. While it is true that parents being able to reach their kids at any time is safe, the security risks that a cell phone or smartphone can cause are far greater. It is difficult enough already for parents to monitor their kids' behavior at school and with friends, but add a cell phone in the mix and it's almost impossible. An article from Forbes.com described a teenage boy who had been texting a 30-year-old woman that he supposedly met playing online video games. Mom wasn't convinced. After paying a company to do some investigation, it turned out that this 30-year-old woman was actually a dude. The potential child predator was caught because the mother was checking her child's text every night. Now think about all the cases where parents don't do that. I would be willing to bet it is the vast majority, which is pretty scary. The generational gap caused by technology these days means that some parents simply don't know what they are getting their kids into. The cell phone and internet world is just not safe enough right now for kids to be involved in. I think that cell phones just simply aren't worth it for parents and actually are unsafe for kids. Children just aren't responsible enough to keep a phone safe, and the distractions caused by the phone are a huge problem.